You guys, what sound do you think a pig makes? You're wrong. This is the sound a pig makes. All right, hey you guys, it is Sergeant Q. And man, today was super busy. We had a podcast that we did this morning with a group out of the UK, which was really cool, talking about mental health and homelessness. And so that was a really cool podcast to do. From there, we went and met with Darren Shell from Cone Health. And so he's the guy who initially contacted us about the app and getting it out here and getting it involved in the hospital system. And so we become really good friends over the last few years of working together on this project. And so I went and saw him. He had met a veteran nonprofit that was doing some equine therapy. And so we went out to the farm and we got to meet with them, and they shared with us what they're doing out there. It's really cool. They have this, farm where they bring guys out and they get to work with the animals and, work on the property, and it helps foster healing, right? I mean, healing through service. That's what we teach, and they're teaching the same thing in just a different capacity, which is really cool. So, they had bought a bunch of copies of my book and they want to start training out there. So I'm going to start working with them on doing that, on creating a program that they can use out there. We're not creating a program, but getting them tied into the current program that they can start teaching out there as a small group, which is really cool. Really neat little farm out there. You guys will see some cool farm videos out there. Got to, play with some horses and cows and pigs, so it was pretty cool. One of the really unique things, though, was I got to meet this Marine veteran named Aubrey. And this was really, really crazy. So talking with this guy was pretty amazing because his story paralleled mine almost exactly in the military. It was really wild. So, you always meet a lot of guys, and it's like, oh, I was a Marine. Well, what did you do? Oh, I was in recon, right? I can't tell you how many recon Marines that I've met. But this dude was actually like legit in recon. So I start asking him questions, because if you guys don't know, Anglico and recon in the 90s, we shared the same training base, Los Flores, and we shared the same paraloft. And so we work with those guys a lot. They would do... when we would do jumps, sometimes they would strap hang on our jumps or we'd strap hang on theirs. They always were the safety swimmers when we were going to have water on the drop zone. And so we worked a lot with those guys. And so I started asking him questions because he doesn't know that I'm with Anglico or anything like that. And man, this guy was spot on. It was pretty cool to talk to him. So he wanted to go infantry, but ended up going into becoming a communication specialist like me, a 2531 field radio operator, because he knew he'd have a flexible MOS and get to work with a variety of different combat units. And so the thing that was really cool was hearing his story and kind of how he got from where he was to where he is now. And he was really open and honest about some of the things that he experienced. And I'm sharing this with his permission. And he actually said, hey man, if you want to share this, it's totally fine, because I think it might be able to speak to somebody and help somebody. And so I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that. And so he laid it on me. He told me this story about his life and his struggle as being a man. Like, what does it take to be a man? And he told me that when he was younger, that he was actually molested, and that really changed how he thought of himself as a man and what does that look like. And so he said he joined the Marine Corps to prove to himself that he wasn't weak, that he was a man, that he wasn't weak. And it was because of that trauma that he experienced as a kid is why he wanted to be able to prove that he wasn't weak, that he could be part of the Marine Corps, which is the toughest branch out there to join. And I know some Army guys are going to get their feelers hurt, but man, that's just the reality of it. You know, it just is what it is. We're the few and we're the proud. And so he tells me about this story, and then he says he goes into the Marine Corps and he gets to become a communication specialist. And at a school, he gets recruited to go to recon. And so a couple guys came and they interviewed some kids, and he didn't actually get selected to go do the tryouts. And so he's pretty bummed about that. And he went and talked to his sergeant major, and sergeant major was like, all right, man, well, I can help you at least get a shot and try out. And so he did. And so he checked in and he went through the NDOC, and he failed the first time, which is not uncommon at all. Especially a lot of the guys who go into recon, they've been in the fleet for a while. You know, they've been in the fleet for a few years. They got some rank and some experience. And with him, he was coming straight out of school and trying to go into this thing. And so he really struggled and he wasn't able to make it. But they gave him a second shot to try out. And they put him through this little training course to kind of prepare him to go through, and I forget what it was called, but it's to prepare him to go through the NDOC course. And that's a pass or fail. Either you fail it and you're out, or you pass it and you become part of the unit and you start getting what we call schooled out. So you start going through, jump school, scuba school, shoot houses, all these different instructor courses. You get all these schools. So he goes and he does this second time and he passes, and then his journey begins in recon, which was kind of similar to me. I went in as a 2531 because I wanted the flexibility to move around the Marine Corps in different units. And when I was in school, I had a sergeant. His name was Sergeant Love, L-U-V, and he was an Anglico Marine, and he convinced me that Anglico was the place to be. And so that's what I did. I got my orders changed to go to Anglico, and the next thing I know, I'm in ABC course, the Anglico basic course, passed it, and then was in the unit. And so just really cool how those stories, our true stories, kind of paralleled with our Marine Corps time. He ended up leaving the Marine Corps and then went into the Air Force, so they have special forces in the Air Force. They have pararescue, and they also have combat controllers. And so he went in to do that, which is calling in aircraft and securing DZs, which is what we do in Anglico. We call in all the air artillery mortars. So he went in to go be a combat controller and do that. And he saw a lot of stuff when he was over there and lost some guys and really struggled with mental health when he came back. And has spent time in the mental health ward at the VA, multiple times, trying to get it together, trying to figure this stuff out. And man, this guy knew the Bible inside and out. So he had heard about my book, but he didn't know much about it. And so when he started talking about scripture and be able to recite scripture and talking about God and how God got him through this, and I'm like, bro, that is my story exactly. How God came and rescued me out of that mental health pit that I was in, and that's how I developed this healing through service, is by studying the Bible rigorously every day, studying the Bible, reading medical journals. And so this guy had a very similar path. So it was really cool how God would weave our lives together to meet today in North Carolina, where neither one of us really knew the other one existed. Darren knew this nonprofit. He wanted me to go there and just chat with the nonprofit, see if I could offer some advice and some encouragement. And here I come across this Marine. And so it was really neat to have that experience and be able to share those things, those different parallels and experiences that we had. Being, in recon and in Anglico, we worked, so we're on the same camp. He was there, I went in 97, he went in 98. So we were on Camp Pendleton at Los Flores at the same time. We literally worked 20 yards away from each other. We could have possibly been on the same jumps together because Anglico would sometimes jump with Recon would sometimes jump with us. We shared the same paraloft. So it was just wild, man, how we had worked so close together in this whole other life of being a Marine. And now here we are decades later, both gone through tremendous mental health struggles, dealing with homelessness and addiction and all of these other things. And God brings us together on this farm in North Carolina by this happenstance meeting. I don't think so. And so the nonprofit is fairly new, and they've dealt with some, financial things that every nonprofit deals with, and I tried to help them, walk through some of that and understand some of that. And, they're going to take the course and start teaching it there. So I'm actually going to put these guys through the course. I'm going to teach it myself to them, a small group. I'm going to teach a small group for them. And I'll probably add some of you guys if you want to join into this small group when I get back. And I'll just put them through the curriculum and see if it's a good fit. So I don't want them to sign up to be trainers and have me come out and do all this stuff if it's not a good fit. So I want them to experience the small group study, and I'm going to be teaching it. And then from there, they can decide if this is going to be a good fit for their program, which I'm praying that it is. It seems like all the things are matching up. You're hearing my little pup over here. She's whining because I'm in her spot, and she has to sit in the other chair. But come here, Mama. You want to come here? Come here. Come here. No? Okay. All right. Well, maybe she doesn't want to come over here. So I'm going to teach these guys and teach them the Healing Through Service motto and how it works. And, they maybe start training people out here in North Carolina. And so I have another opportunity to come back here in February to work with a pastor, Rich Culp. He's putting together a mental health summit. And so I'm going to come and be part of that. All the details haven't been worked out. But so when I come out to do that, I will also train with these guys if they want to do the train the trainer. And then from there, we have a trip planned directly after that. And I'm not going to tell you guys where it's at, but it'll be a great time. So February is going to be a busy month for me. I'm going to be doing a lot of teaching and speaking, and then back on the mission field. And so that's really where my heart's at. That's what I love to do. I love to be on mission. I love teaching guys how to overcome these things, and watching them live rewarding lives. And so it's very simple. If you guys are out there and you're like, man, I don't know if this course is for me, check it out. Check out the website, healingthroughservice.com, and just take a look at the curriculum. Take a look at my YouTube channel. There's a couple videos on there that talk about it. But maybe you're just not ready yet, and that's okay. What I will tell you to do, though, is start doing a daily devotional, man. It's been so good for my mental health and for my spiritual growth. Every single day I do a devotional. And if you aren't at that point yet, just do a proverb of the day. There's 31 proverbs. Do a proverb of the day. Read that. Meditate on it. Try and apply it to your life. If you get a chance, journal it out. It's going to help you tremendously create mental resiliency. It's one of the best things I've done. It helps me be better prepared for the day. It helps me better understand my place in this world and how to serve God. It creates better mental resiliency for me. And so that's my advice to you guys. Start doing a daily devotional. Start getting in the Word. It's going to pay huge dividends for you. Just like it has for me. And so just wanted to share that story with you guys about what we did today. Tomorrow we have a book signing, and then we will be headed back to the West Coast. It'll take us 5 or 6 days to get there. We're going to stop in Vegas and see my mom, and then I'll be headed home. And in October, first week of October, I'll be flying out again to go to Eastern Europe. So that's where we're at, just past the midway point, and we're going to be heading back tomorrow. All right, you guys, enjoy these clips of the farm. Starting Q. I'm out. You guys, what sound do you think a pig makes? You're wrong. This is the sound a pig makes. These guys are so funny. That is not what I thought a pig sounded like. Hey there.